African Safari Wildlife Park is a wild experience with over 800 exotic animals. Our drive-through safari features giraffes, zebras, deer, elk, alpacas, and even white bison, all of which you can feed right from your vehicle. Walk on the wild side with a Zoo It All Pass and feed kangaroos, porcupines, tortoises, and rabbits. Step into our aviary adventure and hand-feed budgies for a memorable experience. Check out our live educational shows or ride a camel. Create memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio Safari Park, African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on the new Main Street TV. And of course, Jennifer here. We hope you're having a wonderful morning. And we are here to start off your morning news update with our good friend Pete Wilson. And that is brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, please give Nia a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll be out working hard for you.
All right, very good.
Pete is always working hard for the news.
All right, well, there is a lot going on. No summer doldrums yet,
No,
as far as the news goes.
definitely not.
Good stuff and bad stuff, just the normal mix.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with a bad news story, meaning that it wasn't a good thing at all. Bad fire in the Oak Hill area yesterday afternoon. Happened on Homer Lewis Road. That's a little township road in Jefferson Township that's just off the 4 Mile Road. Mm-hmm. And a mobile home caught on fire yesterday at the home of Joshua Burton, 503 Homer Lewis Road. The Madison Jefferson Fire Department got the call at 12:08 p.m. Sunday. And of course, a fire is always bad, but they tend to move through the mobile homes very quickly.
They do.
And a lot of are in rural areas, of course. The fire department, even as quick as they respond, sometimes, they're not able to save the mobile home. And in this case, they could not. The mobile home and its contents were considered a total loss there. I'm not sure how many folks were in the Joshua Burton family, but there was more than just him. A female who was in the residence at the time suffered serious burn injuries.
Oh, no.
Right, they had to set up a landing zone for the medical helicopter out in that vicinity. And she was taken to, the firefighters thought it was Cabell Huntington Hospital in Huntington, West Virginia. That's one of the trauma centers in the area where the medical helicopters go. We do not have the name of that woman. But we do know that it was serious enough that they flew her out to Cabell Huntington Hospital, or maybe St. Mary's Hospital in Huntington. That's another one that they go to. But mutual aid assistance was provided by Hamilton Township and South Webster. Now remember yesterday, Jennifer, about 85 degrees or in the high 80s, sunny. You don't know how hard this is on firefighters.
Oh, it was so sticky yesterday, and there was no wind.
Right, they have all that gear on to begin with, and then the heat of the fire.
Of course.
And one of the firefighters was overcome with heat exhaustion.
Oh no.
The good news is that he was treated at the scene. EMS was there, and then he actually resumed his firefighting work there. So, but this is an issue, particularly in the hot weather.
Sure.
And so we don't have a cause to that fire. The state fire marshal's office was called. They almost always investigate a fire when there is a death, when there is an injury, or there is an unknown cause or a suspicious cause. This is not considered to be suspicious necessarily, no cause determined, but the state fire marshal's office will be looking into that fire. But we do know that everything there was a complete loss at that mobile home on Homer Lewis Road. We have that story online on the Telegram's website already, and a version saved to Facebook where you need to be a subscriber to see it, but you'll know that we have it that way.
Sure.
All right, we talked about the bomb threat at Oak Hill High School, Middle High School. Well, guess what? They caught somebody.
No way.
They did, and this young man, 18 years old, Nicholas John Francis Hall of Thompson, Georgia.
What?
From Thompson, Georgia. He allegedly, now we're using the word allegedly because we're just in the beginning of the court process, he has been charged in Washington County, that's over at Marietta, with 22 counts of inducing panic. I believe there's several other charges too, but the inducing panic is a felony charge. He called in bomb threats or active shooter threats to 22 different schools, most of them in southeastern Ohio.
How does a person from Georgia, number one, end up in Marietta calling in bomb threats?
Well, and I remember when this was reported by the Oak Hill schools, and they did a lockdown. That was, I think, back on May the 7th, Friday, May the 7th. They did a lockdown because the kids were already in school, and they felt the safest thing was to keep them there, and rather than putting them out of the building, because sometimes you do an evacuation. At Oak Hill, they did a lockdown, and the authorities reported, actually it was reported on the school's Facebook when they put information out to the public and to parents and so forth. They said that the caller ID came from New York, even though he was from Georgia. So I don't know whether the call was made from New York and he happens to be from Georgia or what. But of the 22 calls that were made in about a 1 week period in the middle of May, early and middle of May, 14 of them were in Washington County. And that is where the indictment was filed. That's where he was arrested. That is where he is in custody right now. So somehow, they figured it out there. But in addition to all those schools in Washington County, that's where Marietta is. But he did multiple threats to different school buildings in Washington County, which is a pretty big county geographically. But also in our area. He did calls to Lucasville High School, Trimble High School in Athens County, and then he did one in Minersville High School in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. He did one in Pennsylvania somehow. He did one at Upper Arlington in the Columbus area. So, of course, everybody says, what is the motivation? Well,
right.
Whatever. What can you say about the motivation when somebody does this to cause fear? Are they just wanting to cause panic, get attention? Well, they want to get attention and not get caught, I know. But we don't know exactly.
That's bizarre.
We don't know whether this young man has any record or anything. That didn't come out in the initial news reports that I saw. But we do know 22 counts of inducing panic. So how serious is that? Well, depends on how.
He's in some trouble.
Oh, yeah. It depends on how a court approaches this. But if convicted, he could get anything from community control, which means no prison time. Hey, he hasn't done anything in the past. We'll watch him for 5 years, slap the hand, to as much as 176 years in prison if it goes the max. So a lot of it will have to do with if he has any record. But the crazy thing about it is on the reasoning power on doing something like this, if you're really thinking it out and you're thinking about the worst case scenario if you get caught, if he's a few months younger and he's 17, nothing's going to happen probably.
James and I had this discussion the other day about that. I said it would be a whole heck of a lot better for him if he were not 18.
Right. Well, it's all about rehabilitation, and then you kind of get the clean slate at age 18. And so, when you're 18, though, you're an adult. Now, they can try you as an adult when you're a juvenile on some crimes, but for the most part, that is the approach of the juvenile court system. So he will not. My understanding is that all the counts are bundled into this case in Washington County, and there will not necessarily be. I wasn't able to confirm that locally with the Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, but it appears that everything will be bundled into this case in Washington County. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, speaking of the criminal justice front, downstairs, you know how much Courtney Leach does for us, right?
We do, yes.
Okay. Well, she lives on Redonda Drive, and she was on the front end of some breaking news for us on early Thursday evening.
Courtney on the scene.
She was, and there was a vehicle pursuit involving the Jackson Police Department in the city of Jackson, and we hadn't told you about that yet, but here is the picture that Courtney took for us. You can see a Jackson Police Department cruiser. You can see two Sheriff's Office cruisers as well, and you can see a little red compact car pulled over there. This was a vehicle pursuit that started with what could have been or should have been a routine traffic stop 1 block from here at Pearl and Church Street. The police were actually, talked to them, they were actually on the way to have supper. And they saw, they saw a vehicle with a hanging muffler, which of course is illegal. And then they saw that same vehicle did not stop completely at the intersection. So they followed it. did a traffic stop, or tried to do a traffic stop at the next block with the idea of probably doing a warning. All right?
Yeah, like get your muffler fixed.
Right.
Man.
Well, the driver of the car, who turned out to be Scotty Keels, age 44, of Jimes Emery Road, Oak Hill, he didn't pull over.
no.
He kept driving. Now, it was a vehicle pursuit, but it wasn't at breakneck speeds. Probably top speeds, according to the cops, were 40 miles per hour, still above the speed limit when it's 25 on most of the residential streets. Didn't stop at some of the intersections, probably didn't use a turn signal, so a lot of traffic stuff. He didn't last very long, but went through part of town, back into the residential section on South Street, turned down Gay Street, crossed Huron Street, went up the hill there, crossed Ralph Street, and then went into Redonda Drive, which of course, there's no outlet there. You just go around
it's just a big circle.
Right, and I don't know whether Scott Keels realized this or not, but he pulled into a yard at 401 Redonda Drive. Car's moving now, it's still in drive, and he bails out and tries to run at this point. And when he does this, officer is Johnny on the scene. They're right behind. They tell him to stop. He doesn't stop, and this is the police account now. They use the taser gun on him, which is an electroshock instrument. If you've heard the word taser, and sometimes it doesn't seem to have much of an effect on some of these defendants. Other times, you're like a lamb after you get hit with that electroshock. Well, Scott Keels dropped to the ground, and no more problems with him. He was taken into custody. There was a female in the car too. Her name was Cassie Cundiff, age 37, of Gisco West Road, Jackson. She didn't try to run. She was compliant. Police feel that she wanted no part of that vehicle pursuit, but she was in it because she was a front car passenger. But anyway, the reason that Scott Keels didn't want to pull over, there was a couple of them, as it turned out. Number one, he was wanted on a warrant out of Ross County. So it was one of those warrants where you're automatically going to be taken into custody and turned over to the authorities. So he was looking at spending time in Chillicothe, and not the way you want.
He's just trying to avoid.
Not the way you want, right? And then in addition to that, on his person, they found multiple baggies of mixed fentanyl and methamphetamine. Of course, fentanyl is the worst thing. I mean, it is potentially deadly. It is so potent. And it was mixed, which I guess is the new thing to mix drugs. But anyway, this was far in excess of what they call the bulk amount. This is serious drug charges facing Mr. Keels. He was not charged with that. They had him in custody on the warrant. So they're going to do the BCI testing, make sure that it is what they think it is, fentanyl and methamphetamine. And if it does prove to be what it is, fentanyl and methamphetamine, then he will be facing drug-related charges as well. I don't know, maybe trafficking charges because of the amount of the drugs there. We know how that works when you have so much. They know you're not using it yourself, ergo, you're trafficking, or you could be. All right, Cassie Cundiff had smaller amounts of fentanyl and methamphetamine in her possession. She will face lesser drug charges as well. She was released. Nobody hurt in there. Mr. Keels was not injured to the point where he needed any medical attention that I heard about anyway.
Unfortunate.
But anyway, he is in custody after that chase. And we had to tell Courtney that a long time ago, we don't do the $50 news tip of the month bonus anymore. And she was disappointed on that, but we'll get her a donut or something and a coffee. But Courtney, if you're listening downstairs.
Atta-girl.
Yes, right. Thank you very much for your help. And anytime that there's a vehicle pursuit, a holdup or whatever, please send photos.
Okay.
All right. Okay, another big thing that's happening in Jackson, of course, we've talked about Nicole Riggle, the 2003 Jackson graduate, who was in town, a couple years ago or last year. I think it was last year shooting, right?
Probably 2 years ago. See, Pete, you got to remember we've all lost a year.
I know, that's
Isn't
true.
that so bizarre?
That's true. And when they were here, we were aware of it, but they wanted to be low profile.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so we didn't write a whole lot about it. But she has finished the movie, and it's ready. It's already been seen, and now it's going to debut in Jackson. It's called Holler.
Yep.
Which, of course, is the Appalachian dialect of hollow. I'm sure that's where that name came from. And there is the picture that is used to promote the show. You can see that online. That is actress Jessica Barden, who is playing the actress in the lead role. And a lot of this movie was shot in Jackson. And it is going to debut Friday at the Tri-City
Yay!
Cinema.
So
and,
exciting.
Yes, and I mean, it's received very good reviews from critics on the early side. This is a full-length movie, and you'll have a chance to see it here. Don't know how long it'll be here, but you know it'll be here this weekend. You can get tickets in advance if you want to make sure you don't miss out. You can contact the Tri-City Theater for more information. You can go online and get tickets at tricitytheater.com. You can also get it through the Tri-City Theater app, and you can also go to the box office some other evening in advance and get advance tickets, but it will start this Friday. And I know that behind the scenes there may be some special activities and events that are in the works there.
That's right.
Working with Nicole on those, because this is, a Jackson thing now.
Yeah, and she's such a good, fun person, and nice to talk to, and we're so proud of her, and I know her family's very proud of her as well. It's, again, local kid does good.
Right, and she's received some good reviews, and she was on a list, a professional list of top 10 directors to watch, because she's young, and this is kind of considered a breakthrough for her.
Yes.
But she graduated from Jackson High School, had a mixed bag of experience, some of it not positive, and she wanted to do a movie about, an Appalachian area and some of the challenges that young people have, growing up. And something that I think that we can certainly all learn from. Everybody has their own perspective and so forth, but everybody has their own experience base as well. But if you go to that movie, no matter what reason you go, you'll see some people that you know in there.
You will.
Right, who got to play bit roles at least. And you'll also, of course, get to see scenes. Oh, I know that.
Yeah, I know that place, or I know that item, or I know,
Right, and we had that story on the front page of our paper on in our Saturday edition. Of course, we've got it online as well. And Trevor Bailey, one of our new reporters, did a in-depth interview with Nicole that will be the basis for another story that we will publish in one of the stories this week. Kind of an in-depth interview with Nicole and her thinking on why she wanted to do this movie and what she thinks about, her hometown.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, very good. Good news from Governor DeWine. And, I posted this online Saturday because I thought it was a big deal, and it really didn't get that much attention compared to some of the other stories, but it's really big news.
It is.
Ohio is now below the 50 case per 100,000 case level that we talked about.
Yeah, that's so good.
Back when it was the worst and started to get a little bit better, Governor DeWine said that restrictions, the COVID-19 health orders and restrictions, would be lifted or at least modified when they got to 50 cases per 100,000. Well, even when it was getting better, we were a long way off. Let me tell you, we are at now 49.5. This was the latest report for the 2-week period, May 22nd through June 4th. Now, this is a statewide figure. As recently as November 30th through December 13th, that was when it was the worst. It was 939.1 cases. 939 versus 49. That's how far we have come.
Wow.
As far as the number of cases.
That's huge.
Per capita cases. And how good are we compared to when, we thought we had this lick last summer? About this time last summer, that was the last time that cases were this low.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't want to bring up the bad side either, but remember last summer when we went into the summer and cases went down, we thought, well, the warm weather's here, this thing is out of here.
Yep.
Well, it's 1 year later now, and COVID-19 is still around. Not everybody has been vaccinated. And so, can we really say that it's licked totally? I don't think we can.
I don't think so. I think, though, that we're all a lot smarter about it, and know the drill and all of that. And so, we'll see. Hopefully, it stays where it is.
Right. Well,
or it goes down more.
Right. As far as vaccinations, 5.3 million Ohioans. That's a little less than half. 46%. Have had at least one vaccination. They've started the vaccination process. 40.5% have had both vaccinations. So that's good in a way, but more than half of us have not. Now, I'm guessing, I don't see a breakdown. Maybe it's on some website somewhere. I think a lot of the people that have not been vaccinated are kids. Mm-hmm. That's where parents are saying, I don't think it's necessary. The kids seem to weather it well. You know, do I want to?
Yeah, like,
you know,
because there's just so much unknown.
Right,
still.
right. But, you know, they still, of course, can be carriers as well. It didn't turn out to be a big deal in the schools like people thought that it might. Yep. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, very, very good news from the COVID-19 front.
Great.
That story also we've got on our website and on Facebook free if you want to see the ins and outs of those statistics. Okay, we talked to you on Thursday morning, Jennifer. I was up here, but that was before the state track meet. Well, the state track meet was held Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And on Friday, you know, our two local athletes who we had up here on Main Street TV.
We did, right here.
We do it all here on Main Street TV, don't we?
Pete.
Exactly. And we want to keep doing more.
Yes, we do.
Implied message there, folks.
Yes, please keep us around.
All right, but anyway, both of our local athletes did not qualify for the finals, but they did themselves proud, and that's just not a patronizing thing. I'm saying they really did well. Remember, this is the best of the best in Ohio going at it, including those from the big cities. And Olivia Kennedy finished 9th. There she is. This is an actual shot of the race. Our sports editor, Todd Compson, was up there at Pickerington North. And there she is competing in the 400-meter dash. She finished just hundredths of a second from qualifying for the finals.
Oh.
If she would have been just, you know, a half second faster even, just past one other girl, she would have finished in 8th place, and she's automatically a state track champion because they score the top 8 positions. And
well, I'm just going to say 9th in the state isn't too shabby either, Pete,
no,
right?
it is not. It is not. 58.65 hundredths of a second for Olivia's time.
Wow.
So she did great. And remember, Olivia is a junior.
She has another year to go.
And so, you know, with that young lady's determination and how far she came from her sophomore year to her junior year, you know, I'm not trying to put pressure on Olivia, but my guess is if things go as they have, she'll be back in the same place next year looking for even more glory.
You know, and that child has a work ethic like none other, so.
Right. I've heard all about it, and what a nice young lady on top of that. Okay. Okay. Also, our other young man, our young man who from Vinton County High School, Elijah Williams, did very well as well. There is Elijah. On the right, he is posing with his coach, John Linder. And John Linder is a Jackson High School graduate.
Yeah.
Some people may remember him. Played football here at Jackson, was on the track team as well. And he mentored, he was one of the mentors for Elijah. Very proud of him. Excuse me. Elijah finished 14th at the state track meet in the long jump in Division II. And when he went in, he was seeded 18th. And he finished 14th. So he had to pass 4 other people who had done better than him in the past to finish 14th. So no, he didn't end up on the podium. He was not in the top 8. But once again, his performance was good enough to move up with the best of the best in the state. So Elijah is a senior. He ended his track career on a high note at Pickerington North.
That's
great. Once again, we want to congratulate both of those athletes. All right, speaking of sports, football season is a ways away. It's going to start a little bit earlier than usual this year because of the way they got the playoffs. It's like about 10 weeks away. However, down at Oak Hill High School, they have begun a turf replacement and track remediation project. That's at the beautiful Davis Stadium, but they had not replaced the turf since the field was built there in the 2000s, and so that time has come. And the school board, even though it's a tremendous expense, has decided to go ahead with the turf replacement project. They have already closed the football field. It will be closed until sometime in August, so you can't walk on the track there, and the football field cannot be used until late summer, or however long it takes to get the turf done. But it will be about a $400,000 deal.
Wow!
And I'm told that that's a pretty good price. Jackson has already had to replace its turf once as well in Alumni Stadium. But in addition to the turf replacement project, which is going on now, They are also going to do what they're calling a track remediation project. Track remediation, there it was some problems in the track surface, and they decided to go ahead and make those repairs as well, since they were already doing the football field. Good. And they don't know the extent of the problem with the repairs, how much it will cost, how big of a job it will be, but they'll find that out as they do their core drillings to see what they need to do. But they will, it'll be different companies doing the track remediation and the turf replacement project. But from the public's standpoint, that facility will be closed. The school won't be able, athletes will not be able to practice on it or use the track or the football field. The football team, when they practice, will be using the old football field down there at the site of the old high school there at Western and Cross.
Okay.
So a big improvement coming for the Oak Hill schools with their athletic facilities. Also at Wellston, at the council meeting there on Thursday evening, of course, one of the issues that they've discussed, and I know Phil Buffington, our associate editor who covers the Wellston City Beat, has discussed it up here, was Dave's Custom Butchering, where they have the electric fence, and that had concern of a neighbor, not only about the livestock animals that are there, which is in the city.
Right.
That was brought up as an issue, and then the electric fence, should there be an electric fence? Well, council took an initial vote on a proposed repeal of the city code that would allow electric fences in certain areas. This would allow the electric fence that Dave's Custom Butchering has up. And it was a split vote. It was 3-2 in favor of the repeal. And Councilwoman Lindley Carey, as well as Councilman Keith Woolham and Fred Doobie, voted for the repeal, which means the electric fence will be allowed. Councilman Tom Clark, Councilman Rick Hudson and Roby Browning voted against the repeal, which means that they had concerns about whether an electric fence ought to be allowed. 2 other councilmen were not present, but this is where that stands right now on the electric fence. Division of opinion, but right now electric fence will be allowed. Now we do need to say that as of right now, it hasn't even been activated, but it is there, the electric fence. All right. This weekend, Saturday, the Jackson County Extension Office will be busy. We're not going to do the Horse Queen, but we are going to do the Jackson County Fair Queen, all right?
Just saying, there will never be another.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to explore your history one of these shows, but just telling you. But anyway, Angie Eisnagel, who does a bunch of work for the Fair Board with the Queen's Contest, announced that the Queen's Contest, and this will be open to the public this year, it wasn't last year, it will be held at the 4-H Extension Office this Saturday, and there's going to be a succession of contests for the grade level attendants and then what they're calling the Big Queens or the Senior Queens.
Okay.
All right, it's all going to start with the Little Miss and Mister at 3 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock interviews and the contest at 3:30, then the 3rd and 4th grade attendants, the 5th and 6th grade attendants, and 7th and 8th grade attendants, and 9th and 10th grade attendants. All those candidates, separate contests will go in succession all that same evening. At 6:30, they're guessing, that is when the senior girls, the Big Queens Contest, will be held at 6:30. There'll be a $5 donation fee at the door. It's considered a donation, but you will be asked to pay it to help delay expenses. Kids under the age of 5 will be admitted free. The winners will be announced that night. There was a number of years where they made it a secret and they announced it at the fair, but the official crowning will take place on the opening night of the fair. I believe that's Sunday, July the 18th at 4 p.m. at the grandstand. So I've got the names of all the girls who are trying out for Fair Queen or attendant. We're going to share those later in the week when I come back. But once again, we did want to let you know that the contest will be held this Saturday afternoon and evening.
Okay, good luck.
All right, just down the road from us here on Main Street at 400 East Main Street, the former Milton Bank building, and that's how we knew it. It was built to serve the Milton Bank, and then of course OVB.
One of my favorite buildings in Jackson.
It's nice, isn't it?
I think it's beautiful.
It is very
just
nice.
Gorgeous.
Very nice. That's definitely added to the downtown. Of course, back in 2016, Ohio Valley Bank merged with Milton Bank, and they eventually closed that building about a year ago, I think. It has been on the selling block. Well, it has been purchased now.
Oh.
And it will be the new home of Hubbard and Hubbard Accountants.
Oh, very good.
Right, Lee Hubbard and Susan Daniels of Hubbard and Hubbard. They are the main accountants, I believe. And Lee announced this over the weekend that they had purchased the building. They hope to be in the building within 60 to 90 days, he says.
Good.
And it will be the new home of Hubbard and Hubbard certified public accountants. And so one of the nicer buildings on the fringe of the downtown will become active again.
Love that. Love it.
Right, and of course, currently their office has been in the beautiful office commons over there at the corner of Huron and Burlington.
Yes.
And now they will have their own building that they have purchased. So that's one of the big real estate business things that have happened. All right, in Vinton County, they are mourning the death of a prominent person, Dave Bolander. Dave Bolander, there's a picture of Dave Bolander if you're watching on television or you got it up on Facebook. Dave was 81 years old. He died this last Friday, and he was a prominent figure on many levels in Vinton County. First of all, he was from Wayne County, which is where Worcester is. There's a little high school there called Dalton. And he was a star running back at Dalton. He went to Ohio University and graduated there in '61. I don't know whether he went straight to Vinton County off the college campus, but soon after that he ended up in MacArthur, and he has been there ever since, and very much involved in many facets of local life in Vinton County and MacArthur. He was the head football coach. Remember, Vinton County consolidated in 1967, all those little high schools, MacArthur, Hamden, all went together. He was the head football coach. Wow. He was a much beloved science teacher, a much beloved high school principal. Then later, one of his claims to fame was, I talked to Bob Grillo about it, former Jackson resident, Jackson High School graduate, and now the probate juvenile judge up in Vinton County. Dave founded the Vinton County High School Athletic Hall of Fame, which they're very proud of, and the locals thought enough of this transplant from Northern Ohio that they put him in the Athletic Hall of Fame for his coaching and just his devotion to the athletics. He was the timekeeper at the football game for many years. He also did a history of Vinton County football, compiled records for the football team and the boys basketball team, and those records are there today. Bob Grillo said there was nothing like that until he did a bunch of research to make that possible. Cool. After he retired from the schools, he was later elected as Vinton County Commissioner, and then later as MacArthur Village Councilman. So that shows that even a gruff high school principal, and he was known to be a disciplinarian who wanted things his way, he earned the respect and popularity of folks. He was elected as county commissioner and then elected as village councilman. So Dave died last Friday up at the Riverside Methodist Hospital in Columbus. His funeral will be this Wednesday at the Garrett Carderas Funeral Home at 2 p.m. Calling hours, if you want to pay your respects, will be 5 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening, also at Garrett Carderas there on High Street in MacArthur. In lieu of flowers, memorial donations can be made to the Vinton County High School football program, which seems appropriate considering what his interests were. Yep. But Dave Bolander, not a local guy. They say that you're never local unless you were born there. Well, Dave made it his hometown. I don't think they feel that way about Dave Bolander. But we wanted to mention that because he did so much for Vinton County and MacArthur and the school system there. We also want to congratulate a guy who's very much alive that we know, and that is Jackson County Commissioner Donnie Willis.
Yep, I can assure you that he's around.
Right there he is, all dressed up.
Look at him, all dapper up there.
Right, and I tell you what, he may be wearing that suit. I don't know. Donnie's kind of a casual guy, but he can also dress up very well.
He can.
He has been named a member. This is a big honor. He has been named a member of the Ohio State Jail Advisory Board.
Oh.
And Donnie, current county commissioner, this is a big deal locally, of course, because there is a lack of local jail space.
Yeah.
And he was the former jail administrator before he was county commissioner for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Mm-hmm. So he's very familiar with the operations of the jail and the financial end of that. And he knows all about, of course, the jail space issue as well. He is one of the members of a commission named by Jackson County Municipal Court Mark Music to study the jail space issue and do something about it. They have talked about it, believe me, behind the scenes. It's not that nobody cares or nobody's doing anything. The problem is money, of course.
It is, of course.
The problem is money. And Donnie has been, I know he's involved in talks with Governor DeWine about getting money for this community alternative sentencing facility where you would have low-level offenders who have a drug background. It would be a little bit less than what a jail would be, but it would be a place where there would be a form of incarceration, a form of detention, but that these folks would also get a chance to get help as well while they were in there, or it would be coordinated through that program, through that facility. So they're still open for that. There's also supposedly money available for a standard jail construction. I know Donnie knows probably as much about that as anybody in the county, and now he's one. I'm not sure how many people are on that jail advisory board, but Donnie Willis from Little Old Jackson County is one of them. So we congratulate him, and we'll, of course, keep tabs with him on what will happen. To have somebody in a influential position at a state level can never hurt, can never hurt. All right, as far as fun stuff, was it a big yard sale weekend?
It was a
last
huge yard
Saturday?
sale weekend, yes.
Not just the organized events, but a lot of little ones popped up all over the place.
Everywhere.
All you had to do is check out all the double parking and illegal parking that was taking place along local streets over the weekend. In Vinton County, they had what they call the Vinton County Community Yard Sale. And
that girl's trying to figure out what that thing is.
Well, right. I'll tell you who that is. She got her picture on television. That is Marissa Morris. That's at a yard sale in Hamden.
What is this strange dialing thing?
What is that rotary phone? She wanted to try it out. Somebody was selling it as an historical item. I've got one in my house still, so that tells you about me.
Wow.
That tells you about where I stand as far as keeping up with the times. But anyway, they had 34 yard sale vendors in Vinton County. A lot of them were in MacArthur and Hamden, but they were spread all throughout the county. The Vinton County Convention and Visitors Bureau does this as a way to promote business. It's a great coordinated thing. They even print a little booklet that shows you where all the yard sales are. So if you're a yard sale junkie, you had a chance to hit 34 different places. And this had brought people, I think, to Vinton County. It had people moving around Vinton County.
Good.
Maybe they stopped at a restaurant and had something to eat along the way or whatever, and they were traveling around. So it created a lot of economic activity at the grassroots level.
Love that.
All right, well, in Oak Hill, on the other side of State Route 93, they had an event there. It was the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce putting this together. It was the Community Yard Sale / Amish Business Showcase at Etna Park. And this was one of the Amish vendors there. There were several that were there. This was the Southern Ohio Furniture, Antiques, and More. And I know that this is out in the country, but out in Jefferson Township in particular, off the 4 mile and whatever, there is a bunch of Amish businesses that are there. And they are bigger and do more and offer more products and nicer products than you might think.
Yep.
I mean, it's some big business, really, on some of them. And 4 of the biggest vendors were there at the Amish Business Showcase. The Chamber of Commerce there has done a great job trying to bring the Amish community into the business community. And that's good for everybody. Good. It lets folks in the area know that they have these items for sale. Probably the only place that they sell them is at their local places where they have their stores and their farms and their barns and so forth. And so this was held. Also, they had the yard sale there. There were 13 yard sellers there at the yard sale place there at Etna Park. It was a combo thing. And James's father, Richard Hamilton, you can see he was not ready to have his picture taken. All right, he was roasting the hot dogs there. Popular man, free hot dogs there.
He's the weenie man.
Right, thanks to the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce. So their yard sale project was a little bit different. Instead of doing a map and you operate from your local place, they brought them together, so you didn't have to travel. 13 of them right together there. So those were good events. They've been going on for several years. Kudos to the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce for doing that. That was very enterprising.
Yep.
Also, today is the first day for a big exhibit at the Lillian Jones Museum. This is an outdoor exhibit, so you can go there and see it anytime. We talked about it on TV last week. It is the Dig It, The Secrets of Soil exhibition. that's open today. It will be there through the early fall this year, and it is from the National Museum of Natural History, and that's part of the Smithsonian. And all these panels now line the perimeter of the Lillian Jones Museum there on the south side and on the front side of the Lillian Jones Museum. I took a look at them yesterday, but you can learn about the local soils there. The museum is not open every day of the week. It's open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but you can see these panels on the outside. You can walk from the outside, step up on the lawn and see them. You can learn a lot about soils. And I don't know, I had some very good science teachers. I don't remember a whole lot about about soils. So
I don't about
remember how important they are and everything.
We learned about leaves and bugs and all kind of stuff, but I don't remember soil.
Right, and I think that some of the printing work that was done for this exhibition, Zip Printing was involved in. Stacy Walters and her crew downstairs.
That's right.
So, and I tell you, the panels are sharp.
Very good.
So you have a long time to be able to see them. I know that director Megan Malone, who does a great job with the museum, she'll be there a lot of the time to kind of guide you through it and to offer commentary. If you want to learn more about it, we do have that story posted on our website about this exhibition at the Lillian Jones Museum. Okay, on the travel side, we want to tell you a couple of things. Here in Jackson County, the Ohio Department of Transportation has announced that a section of State Route 139 south of the city will be closed through a culvert replacement project. This is between State Route 279 and Bucklick Creek Road. It will be closed starting tomorrow. You will be detoured on State Route 179, State Route 279, and State Route 93 if you have to stay on the state highways. I'm sure there's local ways to get around that as well. Work is estimated to be completed later in the summer. That would be on 139, closer to the 279 side down there in the southern part of the county. In Vinton County, the Madison Township trustees announced that starting last Saturday, Atkinson Ridge Road, also known as Township Road 5, closed for a road project. No word on how long that will be closed, but it closed effective on Saturday. Okay. So that's where we stand, Jennifer.
Good grief, Pete. You've got a lot of news.
Right, and so I've got to go down and do the back end of it now for our print edition.
Okay.
And now, as a special bonus, we're going to bring on the news tipster of the week.
She is.
Courtney Leach.
Yay, Courtney.
Right, next time, Courtney, get a little closer to those felons, okay?
Right. All right. Thank you, Pete. And of course, Pete's Morning News Update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you have any real estate needs, please give her a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll work hard for you. All right, let's head on over to the weather forecast, which, Lord, we apologize, is so messed up from last week, I don't even know what to tell you. So everything that we reported last week, the weather is the antithesis of what we said, basically. So, here we go. For today, rain. For tomorrow, rain. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, rain. Yeah, there was no rain in the forecast at all last week. Temperatures a little less with highs around 80 today, lows over about 67 overnight, and then highs around 85 tomorrow. So that rain, I have no idea where it came from. It just came out of nowhere, and it's not just like, oh, it's going to rain a little bit. Like all of a sudden it went from 0 to 100. So
yes.
Here we are.
Rain every day.
Yeah,
So
which
great.
the gardens will like.
Yes, I did water my flowers yesterday, but I guess I don't have to do it at all the rest of the week.
I know, I'm hoping. I mean, if it's going to rain, at least rain enough where we don't have to get out and water stuff.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yep. So Courtney is here and James is here, and so I have a special taste test treat for you guys
I forgot
today.
about this. I should have made. Phil was like, "Do you need me to go up?" I was like, "No, I'll do it this time. You're good."
Hey, you're good.
Yeah, but I don't like lime. Okay. No.
Well, you're going to have to try it
I
anyway.
brought my water, so we're good.
So here's the deal, and then we'll get on to something else. But here's the deal. So Courtney had found all these weird, like, Kit Kat bars during Halloween. It was,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Halloween, Thanksgiving.
And
yeah.
I was trying to remember. I was trying to tell Jamie about it. because he was wondering why in the heck I bought this.
Right.
Because I don't eat like candy much, and so I was trying to remember. We had like a caramel.
There was like an apple pie one.
Yeah, apple pie one, and then there was something
Was
else.
the other one just white? A white Kit Kat? Do you remember?
It
James?
was like.
No,
It wasn't cookies and cream, was it?
No,
It was,
one of them was definitely apple pie. Was the other one pumpkin pie?
it was white though. I remember it was like
The apple
weird.
pie one was white.
Was white.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe it was.
So anyway, they were here forever. We were all terrified to eat them, and then when we tried them out, we were pleasantly surprised by how good they were.
Right.
So Jamie and I are coming back. We're driving in the country from like up north, and we took the back road home, and we stop at this little convenience store, like out in the middle of nowhere, to get water.
Right.
And at the cash register is this. And I said, grab one of those. And Jamie's like, why? And I'm like, just because. It is key lime pie Kit Kat. So we're going to do a taste test right here on the program
Okay.
of a key lime pie Kit Kat that I randomly got at some convenience store, and God only knows where I was, because I don't know.
If you want to know where to get them, we can't tell you.
Yeah, I
Have
think
you
we
had
were in.
key lime pie before?
I have. Have you?
James, have you? I have not.
I have. I'm not a fan. I'm also going to jump in here. I just checked out the official weather window,
Yes.
and the forecast was correct.
Is it pouring down the
It's
rain?
pouring down rain right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm going to open this up.
I have not had key lime pie, so I will not.
Oh,
be
you
able-
haven't?
No, so I won't be able to tell you if it tastes like you.
Well,
can
I
tell us,
have.
though.
I'll tell you. All right. So I'm going to let everybody pull off.
She caught it. We're good. That's yours.
I'll take that one. You guys can share this. I meant to do that.
It
I got.
smells like.
Smells like key lime pie.
Mhm.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Okay, let's go.
3, 2,
James
1,
is
go.
already done.
You know what this tastes like to me? Not key lime pie. This tastes like those Girl Scout cookies, the lemon ones.
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I mean, I guess limes are citrus, but it is citrusy,
It tastes just like those lemon.
kind of
Girl Scout
vanilla
cookies to me.
and citrus flavor, kind of.
A little bit of a like
I-
graham cracker or two in there. It
Yeah.
seems like.
My thought when I saw these was, I bet they'd be good on ice cream, and I stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
Crunch it up.
Crunch
put
it up on
top.
Some vanilla
Alright.
ice cream or something.
Okay,
I don't know about key lime pie.
definitely limey. Is that a term? Limey. They taste limey.
Courtney, if you want it to be limey, it is limey. So what do you think? Is it like gagging you, or are you good with it?
I'm not a fan of lime and lemon desserts,
Yeah.
but it's okay. I wouldn't pick it as my first go-to, but
I
if
mean-
it was the only sweet thing I had, it'd
Yeah,
work.
I guess for summer it's kind of refreshing as a snack
Mhm.
or a little treat.
Yep.
But I'm with James. I think that with ice cream would be fantastic.
Vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. So, but I don't necessarily know that tastes like key lime pie. Key limes are very distinctive.
Well, key lime pie is a lot about texture too, right?
True, and it wouldn't be
And that's
crunchy.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
Kit Kat's
not
kinda
the texture of key
crunchy.
lime pie.
Yeah.
And Key West is known for their key lime pie. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes. Yep. They have several. There's like the.
Like-
Yeah, the Key
Like
West
official-
Key Lime Pie Company or whatever it
Yeah,
is, and then they have. So when we were down there over Thanksgiving, yeah, I noticed that there had been a couple of different just key lime pie stores pop up down there. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good though. Key limes are, and you can get them at the grocery store here.
Oh yeah.
Key limes, you can buy them. Yeah,
See, I didn't even, like. I guess I'm not even.
they're cute. They're like smaller.
Little tiny ones.
Yeah, and they're a little sweeter than like a normal lime would be. So yeah.
I usually take my lime in a Corona.
Or a margarita. Yeah, that's so funny. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So, okay, how on earth did you... Okay, number one, it's probably not the safest thing in the world to run to the police officers that are arresting somebody that jumped out of their car and are tasing them. Like, what were you thinking?
Well, that part was over with by the time I got there.
Did you see, like, what
No,
had
I had
happened?
no idea what was going on. I just pulled up and that was
I
my
mean, they could have been
neighborhood.
shooting or something, and you just didn't,
Well,
you just run to it?
No, as Pete mentioned, I could have gotten a little closer. I was
Like,
at
standing
least,
out your window,
I
like...
was like at least 3 houses away, like zooming in with my phone as close as I could get to get a decent pic.
There's Courtney's picture.
Yeah, like that's
the-
zoomed in. That's why it's like terrible quality because I felt very awkward. But at this point, they were like searching the car. I think the other guy was already in like one of the police cruisers.
Okay.
And so then I was just really awkward because I felt like, I don't know. Was
You're like, I'm with the media.
Right, I didn't have my press pass on me.
I'm not just a gawker. What did so did you like see the whole thing unfold, or were you just
it
like
was already, like they were already parked and I was just going home from work and I turned the corner.
oh
Yeah, I
And
turned
you were
the
like,
corner,
oh.
I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I was really snapping the pictures to send to Phil, and I was like, Phil, what's going on? So that's what happened. But then 2 more sheriffs showed up at one point, but then I guess the problem was resolved, so they went on their merry little way. So,
gotcha.
but,
Well,
yeah, pretty exciting, but not
key
the
reporter.
best. Not the best place to try to get away from someone.
Well, I was wondering the same thing as I was reading this article last night.
Right. It's a circle.
I thought,
So
and you know, I know Scotty. We went to school together, and I'm thinking, Scotty, man, we all know Redondo Drive. It's been there for a long time, dude. Like,
it goes in, which I guess he pulled over in that yard and then took off running. So he thought maybe he was going to go through Hope Haven, maybe.
again,
I
I
don't know.
don't. You got the highway right there, so
Yeah, I mean,
it
it
is.
could have. If you would have got a good speed, I guess you could have just went straight and then just not made the turn and gone down onto the highway.
Hey, there you go. That would have been super exciting.
Through the fence.
Feel like Knight Rider or something.
Right.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, but
Oh, well.
I mean, if he would have stayed in the car, the cop, and would have made the circle, the cop could have just waited on the other side of
I
Redondo.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't go. Yeah,
Yeah,
block off both sides. You're kind of toast. There's only one way in and one way out. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So that was a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So in royal baby news, Meghan Mark, whatever her name is, and Prince Harry had a little baby girl over the weekend.
Oh.
And her name is, this is really cute. Her name is Lilibet Diana.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
Lilibet is actually,
What
they call the queen.
called, yeah.
And it's, so they named her after the queen
that's
and
cute.
her
Wonder what they'll-
grandmother. They're going to call her Lily.
Lily. Oh, that's pretty.
And yeah, and Lilibet, I guess, started when Queen Elizabeth was a little itty bitty girl. She couldn't pronounce her own name, Elizabeth, and it came out Lilibet.
Oh, that's cute.
And so it kind of stuck. And they said that that's what, you know, her husband and everyone had called her. So it's really not an official name per se. It was just kind of a nickname.
Nickname, and then-
But so that's going to be her name.
Well, that's very
So-
sweet.
Yeah, I thought that was cute. So, and in, let's see, other news. So Phil and I were talking about Casey Anthony the other day and the fact that she got into a bar fight.
Yeah.
And supposedly she had led on and called 911 and led on like it was a friend or a former friend of hers and herself in this fight over some boy.
Yeah.
And there was drinks pouring and all kind of stuff
Right.
going on. So the friend or the ex-friend or whatever came out and said, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but Casey Anthony's a big fat liar and a whack job.
That's not.
Those
that's
are
not
my
true.
words, not hers. Is that hard to believe or what?
I mean, I don't know.
But the friend is named, or ex-friend or whatever, Thelma Moya, and she came out and said basically that the drama between the two of them is to keep her name relevant, and quote, "It's all an act. She's starved for attention and seeking to get publicity that she desires. The truth is, it just proves how miserable she is. This isn't just over an ex we both dated in the past. Her losing control, her unknowing of my current life or what I'm doing, has her to do things like this." She added, "Just like her incident report and the camera footage, it will be just another lie." Evidently, Casey Anthony has a new documentary coming out about. So she's trying
to get her name out there. To
this
be
is
relevant.
what they're saying, and she wants attention and whatever. Because Phil and I were talking about. I'm like, if you're Casey Anthony, number one, what are you doing in a bar? Like, grow up. Like, you are like. And I'm not saying you can't be in a bar. I'm just saying
doesn't seem like the best place to be
for someone like her, because there's a past of it not going well, of her being in bars.
Yeah. Plus, I imagine people are there drinking, and then once they get a little loose in the tongue, that things can be said. Like, you're just putting yourself.
That was kind of my point. Like, I'd be laying low somewhere, like not out in a bar fight. Or putting myself in the position where I would get in a bar fight, unless you're doing it on purpose for publicity's sake.
Sounds like it.
Which sounds like it, yes. So, there you go.
Did you see any posts or anything about the memorial tournament up in Dublin?
No. Well, I saw some people there, but I didn't see any of
The only thing I noted, because we know I do not follow sports and know anything about golf, but they seem to have a lot of cicadas up there.
Oh,
it was so noisy, and they were flying around everywhere. So I just wonder if that, like, your concentration when you're playing, because those things are so loud and deafening.
And we know that golf, like, they hold up signs that says "quiet, please," and all this, except for the cicadas weren't listening.
You think the cicadas were like, okay, wait. Okay, he's done. We can talk again.
Again.
Right. But I think
that's awful.
I know. I think we're pretty blessed though, because I don't think we're gonna get them. I think we're out of the range. Ours was the 2016.
We had to. I mean, I can remember literally trying to sit on my front porch and being like, I can't do this. No. I've got to go inside. Now, I will say that the other night I went out, it was the night before last, I think, and I heard one. Like, I could hear, like...
She's lost.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you need to go north or east or something. Like,
she's not going to hear you from down here.
Yeah, wrong place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
they seem to be pretty bad up in Columbus.
Yeah. So we're very fortunate that hopefully we can...
Yes, so if you need some outdoor activities to do that do not include cicadas, come to Jackson County.
That's right. Come to Southern Ohio, and we'll take great care of you.
Yep.
We promise.
Yep, it'll be great.
Yes, it will. So is there anything else fun that happened over the weekend? I got to see you.
I know, we saw each other
fun.
at 6 Cents. I was busy this weekend. Like,
yeah?
I felt like I had to call off today because I was exhausted.
I'm so tired from my restful weekend.
Right? Well, Thursday we went to Rowdy's and saw Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Listened to some music. And then Thursday evening we went to Jules Stewart's opening.
Yes, how did that go?
Very nice. You should definitely stop by and see it. It's a combination of photography and poetry.
Oh, neat.
It tells a love story down both sides. So
very good.
Stop by the Marquee and see that when it's open. Friday, I assisted my sister-in-law and my brother in trimming their pug's nails. One pug got their nails trimmed. One pug did not, because he's 10, and if he doesn't want to have his nails trimmed,
it's not going to happen.
He doesn't want his nails trimmed. He's earned the right. And I like my fingers. So.
Yes, I like all my digits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then after we did that, we went to 6 Cents.
I needed a drink after that.
Yeah. So Saturday we had a wedding.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. And then Sunday I was back at 6 Cents for brunch with the girls. So
Yay!
it was a busy weekend.
Very good.
It's very nice to see people out and about. And
It is.
Getting back to a little bit of
Yeah, a little normal anyway. And, you still... So I was talking with some of the girls at the restaurant, and I think that you and I were talking about, too, like, you feel so exposed.
You do, yeah.
It's like...
You gotta watch your mouth.
Yeah.
You can't make the mouth faces.
The resting bee face, you got to make
Yeah.
sure that
You can
it
see. Yep.
yeah. It's like, oh, God, everyone can see me again. Oh.
Yep.
You feel like you're almost walking around naked.
Yep. Yep. Like you left the house without the bra on. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah. But it is funny, the state of panic you get into. So Jamie and I were Thursday checking out some stuff at the new production facility, and we're like, well, let's just run across and grab a drink and something to eat at the brewery. And I went, I don't have a mask with me. And he was like, and I was like,
I don't.
oh, never mind. But
Right.
you just immediately like go into this panic mode
Right.
of,
Right.
and then you go, so he and I went over to Athens yesterday. They had a little like vendors market over there. And so we went to that and then met up with some friends for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And, driving there, though, you're kind of like, I don't know, in different places, like, are we, are because it's certainly to the discretion of the business.
Yeah, like
Um,
I saw some people were mask burning. I wouldn't burn them all because there are still some places you
Yeah.
have to wear one.
I
So
would always say have one stuffed in your purse or your car or something.
Right, yeah.
Somewhere. Just
yeah,
in
like I
case.
went to the eye doctor and they're of course still asking you to wear them, which is
Yeah.
understandable. That's pretty close.
Yeah, you're close
right
up.
up on each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some places that they're still wanting you to wear them, and
Yeah,
that's fine. And you
totally.
go places and there are some people still wearing them. That's fine too.
Yeah, please
Like,
don't mass shame.
No, don't mass
I'm
shame.
begging you.
Yeah, for wearing, for not wearing, at this point,
Just let people be whatever they want to be.
Right.
I just, like I had mine on the other day and went into a store because I just felt like I wanted to, and it was just like, why do you have that on? Like, stop asking me that.
Right.
Because I want to.
Right.
No.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
don't.
you want to wear it?
Let's
wear
not
it.
have this discussion. Let's talk about something else.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's how it goes. All right. Well, we do need to get out of here for the day. We appreciate you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget that we have 1 week until the Jackson City Council decides our fate and decides whether to pull the plug on us or not. So if you have any comments or thoughts regarding channel 1020 or Main Street TV here, please call your Jackson council person or a Jackson council person. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to live in the city.
Right.
And voice your thoughts to them, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
just let them know. Yep. So we hope that we can continue on to do this for a really long time.
It's true.
Yep. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Did want to give a shout out to Callahan Hardware, also Chip and Kathy Smalley at the shop. Lots of engraving and custom stuff going on right now with awards, and now that we can get back to car shows and fairs and stuff.
Right.
Also, our friends at the filling station, the store at Broadway and Penn and Wellston, and Quick Stop here in Jackson, and of course Mark Carmen and the gang at Carmen's Used Cars. Drove by the other day. He has a lot of pickups on the lot right now, so if you're looking for a pickup, now's the time to buy one. So, all right, have a great day, everyone, and we'll be right back here tomorrow with a lot of fun and hopefully some smiles for you. So, have a great day. Thanks for watching.